The small town of Willow Creek was peaceful, except for one man who seemed to relish in the misery of others. His name was Harold, and he was the mailman. Every day, Harold would deliver letters and packages with a sinister grin on his face. No one knew what Harold did when he was alone, but rumors spread that he had a twisted obsession with the letters he delivered. Some said he opened and read the mail before delivering it, while others whispered that he tampered with the letters to cause chaos. Despite these rumors, no one suspected Harold of any wrongdoing until the day when a strange package arrived in the mail. It was addressed to a local family, the Smiths, but there was no return address. Harold delivered the package with his usual grin, but as he turned to leave, he heard a loud explosion. He turned back to see the Smiths' mailbox blown apart, and bits of metal and wood littering the front yard. Everyone was shocked, and the police were called. They searched the area and found another explosive device in a nearby mailbox. It was clear that someone was targeting the residents of Willow Creek, and the mailman was the prime suspect. As the investigation continued, more explosive devices were found in mailboxes around town. It seemed that Harold was behind the bombings, and he was arrested and brought in for questioning. During the interrogation, Harold calmly confessed to everything. He had been planning the attacks for years, carefully constructing the bombs in his basement and planting them in mailboxes under the cover of darkness. Harold explained that he had always hated the people of Willow Creek. He resented their happiness, their contentment, and their innocence. He wanted to shatter their peaceful existence and watch them suffer. As the townspeople learned of Harold's twisted plans, they were horrified. They had trusted him with their mail, their personal information, and their secrets. They had never suspected that their mailman could be capable of such evil. Harold was eventually found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. But the damage had already been done. The residents of Willow Creek had lost their sense of security and their trust in their fellow man. They would never forget the horror that their mailman had inflicted upon them. A couple months after Harold's arrest, something strange happened. Despite Harold's arrest and imprisonment, the people of Willow Creek continued to live in fear. It seemed that even behind bars, the mailman was still finding ways to torment them. More strange packages started arriving in the mail, addressed to various residents of the town. The packages contained odd and unsettling items like creepy dolls, disturbing letters, and even body parts. Each package was accompanied by a cryptic message, signed with Harold's name. The townspeople were terrified, not knowing how Harold was able to send out these packages from inside his cell. They speculated that he had an accomplice on the outside, or that he had some sort of connection to the postal service that allowed him to manipulate the mail. As the packages continued to arrive, the police launched an investigation into how Harold was able to send them out. They searched his cell and found nothing out of the ordinary, but they did discover that Harold had been communicating with someone through coded messages hidden in his letters. The police tracked down the recipient of Harold's coded messages, a mysterious figure who had been sending him instructions on how to get the packages out. They were able to arrest the person, who turned out to be a former postal worker who had been fired by the agency and held a grudge against the system. With Harold's accomplice apprehended, the strange packages finally stopped arriving. The people of Willow Creek breathed a sigh of relief, but they were forever changed by the horror they had endured. They would never forget the mailman who had brought chaos to their once peaceful town, or the accomplice who had enabled him to continue his reign of terror from behind bars. Even years later, the memory of the strange packages and the man who sent them would haunt them, reminding them of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of their seemingly idyllic community.